So, this is the beginning of the Triba Masterminds Council. Welcome,
What are we
guys.
talking about today?
Today's going to be voting someone off the island.
Wait, what does that actually mean?
No, we're going to be talking about constructive criticism, how to take it, how to give it, and where it's needed, as well as anyone who has advice on how the community should progress and develop. This is the time to share it, talk about it. And then we plan out for other cool events and workshops. That's kind of the agenda for today. You like it? You dig it? You with it? Who else is turning their camera on here? Oh, y'all have your cameras on already? Okay, cool. Let's go desktop and camera mode. Turn off my camera on there.
My lighting's not right yet. You're rushing me.
Oh. Hey, you got time, man. You got time. I can't even see someone's camera. Who's this loading? Not Chris. It's not Garrett. Is it GroovyBot? Let's get the GroovyBot out of here. Oh, and I'm back.
No, it's got to be Chris.
Is it Chris? Chris, do you have your camera on? Oh, it's Jeremiah's now.
What? No, I turned mine off.
Oh, okay. You're cool. That's fine. I have mine on the stream. I have yet to decide if I should do it on just on here or on the stream and share. Either way,
Okay,
I get
did you
duplicates
send
of
an
me.
invite or did you just say we're streaming? Because if you send we're streaming, nobody's gonna join.
No, I sent an invite.
Okay.
Send an invite to people.
Where? Oh, manually? You should send one to the main group chat. Oh, I see it. Never mind.
I did. Although it's above the streaming. Maybe I should copy that and say
We live.
That's not the link for the voice channel. Okay.
We live here.
We live here. Emphasis on live. There we go. Join voice channel. Now they can join directly into the voice channel. If you're watching the stream as well, check out the community. wr.community/Triba. We do these every week, and this is just a time to share, talk about your business needs. Today we're going to discuss some methods for community growth and how we can foster engagement within the different channels. So it should be some interesting discussion. Welcome to join. If you drop in and you see the link, it should be in the description of the Twitch stream as well as on Facebook. Come in and share your thoughts, or you can put them in the chat and we'll get back to them. I want to go through and just to welcome our new members real quick. So anybody coming in, if you're watching this stream later, welcome. Thanks, Sam, for reaching out. Sam Barton from Idea Markets came over, and we have Yosu. I'm gonna actually go through the general and see who's come in so far. We'll read them off. Bibby and Thomas 57110. Man Julk. See, people need to change their names, man. I can't do this. Man Julk Aiden. Someone help me out here. Vignesh.
Manjul Kadian.
Austin B. Welcome.
Austin Bowens of Ravi.
Oh,
They are the best animation in town. They're fucking awesome. I love them.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think it doesn't show up here if they change their name after they join. We have Medivus. He does some pretty awesome coding.
Medivus,
He does
he's
Twitch
cool.
bots, actually. He showed me his
I've
Twitch
known him
bots.
from Twitter for years.
Really?
Like 2 or 3 years. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah,
he's a good dude.
I didn't realize he actually had a bunch of working bots for Twitch streamers to optimize things. Check him out. I'll post the link.
He's very cool. He runs a self-improvement for dudes, or helps run a self-improvement for dudes server called The Eighth. That's founded by a dude on Twitter named Atlas, who's also someone I've known for a long time. Great guy. But
Nice.
yeah, no, he's a good guy.
Should move this down in the bottom. There we go. Now people can see your face too, kind of. Actually, it's cut off, man. There we go. We'll do that. Who else do we have who came in this week? Wow. Okay. Yesterday we had Brenton, Brian, him, he, Ka, Estavo.x, Madi Momania, Mikey's Us B, Steven Sisson. Man, they're not making this easy on me at all.
Sounds like you're making up names.
It does. Sam, okay. This is actually when they joined. This is still this week. Morgan Walton, Carlbot and Groovy are bots, so they don't get a shout out. NG, I don't know who NG is, but I'll reach out to you. Monsieur joined. Code Malone. That's the best name so far. Code Malone. Garçon. Martins. Julian Rodriguez.
Juliana Rodriguez.
Juliana Rodriguez.
That was an easy one, bro. Come on.
Yes. Addict is here. We got the addict here. Celestio is in here. Omer and Twilcox. Is this still this week? Man, we got a lot of people this week.
Didn't you kick him from the server?
What? Stan.
Wasn't one of those people kicked from the server?
Stan V. Well, that's what we're working on tonight. We're voting. I'm Stan. I am new. Welcome, Stan. What do you mean? First things first. Tell me what this server is for. This server is for entrepreneurs, industry professionals, and business-minded folks to come together and form a community. This entails bartership, partnership, conversation. The conversation at times can feel like free consultation. A lot of people in here working on a lot of cool things, all helping each other out. Love that. Jeremiah, shout out to Glance.
From writing descriptions of the server, I think that's god awful.
Oh man, I still have this thing over top of it on this screen. They didn't get to see your face when you talked. Disappointing. It should spotlight you when you talk. And where's my webcam? Turn this on. I know people want to see my webcam. Alright, there we go. There's no overlay image here, but at least you can see it. Dude, you know what? I am liking Streamlabs OBS less and less. To be honest. Like, I was all about it before. Because you can't, like...
Why?
It's harder to move stuff around on Streamlabs OBS. It's harder to...
Versus what? As opposed to what?
As opposed to Streamlabs Studio.
Wait, what is that?
It's just the base version... Or OBS, sorry, not Streamlabs. OBS Studio. You know, the base version.
Regular OBS,
yeah. Regular old
regular
OBS.
OBS is a little bit more like flexible because it's more open, but Streamlabs is a little bit more like I feel like it's for people who want. It's like using a Webflow template versus doing it yourself. You could do less, but it's kind of like better if you don't do as much.
What do you think, Chris?
I definitely like Studio a lot more. More flexibility with Studio.
Right? Like you can just do.
But it depends. Like it depends what you want to do. Like there's things with Streamlabs that are really appealing. Like you can record twice. So they have a feature where if you wanted to record your camera separate from whatever you're streaming, you can do that.
That's on Streamlabs OBS.
Studio. That's on Slobs. Yeah, that's on Streamlabs.
Okay, then OBS Studio.
You can still do it with Studio, but you have to create 2 different studios, run them each separate, and then create a virtual camera for your camera. It takes a few extra steps and more technicalities, but definitely a lot nicer once you do get that set up, because you could start recording like 3, 4, 5 cameras at once.
Oh, sweet! So I could have a camera behind me that shows my setup. It's so clean and organized, and there's nothing everywhere. Yeah. I mean, sorry.
So there's a few streamers right now that have like a 4 or 5 camera setup, so it's like at every different angle.
Or a cat
cam. You can see their junk, you know.
Yeah, I should have. I could have a baby cam in the corner. Just
they even have like a SWAT cam, so like in case like their address gets swatted or something, they could tell.
A SWAT cam?
A SWAT cam.
What's a SWAT cam?
Don't get swatted.
What?
You know when you get swatted?
No, I'm missing out on something here.
When your address gets leaked online, and they're like, and they call it in, and you get swatted all of a sudden. You haven't seen any of those videos?
No.
Oh, my buddy. Yeah.
Dude, what? How do you get swatted? They just tell them like, okay, this dude is doing something terrible. Send in the SWAT, and they do.
Well, the one thing I remember from this video was like somebody tipped. Like it's a Twitch streamer, obviously.
Right.
Somebody tipped, and when you tip, the audio gets triggered, right? So they had like their message being triggered, and they used Alexa. So like they tipped, and they were like, "Hey Alexa, what's my address?" And then the address got leaked. Alexa turns on. It's like, your address is blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, like a couple of days later, they get swatted.
Jesus.
If you haven't been swatted before, Sam, have you at least been pizzaed, or have you had that boring of an online life so far?
I've been pizzaed. I've also pizzaed people.
Okay, I'm making sure.
I was a streamer. I mean, I didn't know what you were talking about when you said a SWAT cam. I was thinking like some sort of animation where you get like smacked in the face.
Like a camera purposely to see anybody.
That's one boring camera, man. 90% of the time. How often are you getting swatted that you need a SWAT cam? But seriously, that would scare the bejeezers out of me. Like if the SWAT just broke down my door and came in while I was streaming. Oh man.
And then 30 minutes later you get a pizza.
Yeah, it makes up for it. At least if you're gonna swat me, at least bring a pizza. Like, please.
A pizza before they swat you though, because if
delivers pizza, then you're like mid-bite, the first bite of the pizza, you're like, and then SWAT just busts in. Psych, you ain't getting no pizza? Psych! Let's go full screen.
You really haven't been before?
What?
Was I that bad as a child where I ran into this stuff? Like, I thought you all would relate.
I mean, I've never had it done to me except for the pizzaing. What happened to everybody's cameras?
Yeah, I've had.
It's just me.
I'm sorry.
I'm driving.
It's just me and Jeremiah here. I'll make my camera bigger so you don't feel left out. There, I'm in the top corner. Okay, so Jeremiah, what did you do this week?
What are we talking about? What's our topic?
The topic is issues that you're having with your business and giving feedback. So Well, Chris, how do you give feedback? You seem to have the hammer approach, where you just you go in,
Oh,
you don't waste any
well,
time, don't cut any corners,
yeah,
just boom,
yeah.
here it is. Like I
Well,
don't care how you feel.
let me ask you this: did Jeremiah or Lauren give you my feedback from
And
the
did not
thing that
come
you were
back
doing?
that night.
No,
He didn't come back no matter how loud the music I played was.
give me the feedback.
Oh, really? Okay, I don't know if I should do it on there, but I will do it anyways. I'll roast you. I have no problem with that.
Okay.
How do I put it nicely? Jeremiah, can you rehash it? Can you do it for me? Do you
Yes.
remember what
Wait,
I said?
what are you guys talking about? What is this in reference to? What?
So Sam
Okay,
had
this
put
is in
together a
reference.
marketing, like, what do you call it, pamphlet type of thing that he would hand off
Oh
to
yeah,
business
yeah. I saw it. That's
owners, and he emailed every single one of us asking us for criticism and critiques on this handout. Chris's big point was, hey, you're asking the wrong people. Why aren't you asking the people that you're going to be selling this product to? Because who cares what, for example, me and Garrett think about your marketing uh, piece of paper? We're not the ones that will even buy your service. We don't really have a need for your service with what we do. So our criticism doesn't mean anything.
Don't you?
What you
Do you
should
have
be
a
doing
physical?
is asking the business owners who you think you're going to sell to, and use this as almost like an intro. Like, hey, I'm working. I just came into this new business. Check this out. What would you do differently? What would make this more appealing to you? And then guess what? You get a conversation started right there with that guy. Plus, you get criticism that you can actually apply to.
I like that. Yeah. No, that's totally true. I did think that it was something that you guys could benefit from. I was talking to Garrett and telling him about it. I thought Garrett, I thought you were interested. What happened?
in
I
what?
thought we agreed you wanted to do that.
In
Optimize
what?
your make a Google My Business site.
Yeah. When did you schedule an appointment with me to do that?
Ah, very true.
Imagine I'm a client, right?
Yeah.
You just I expressed interest. How'd you follow up?
Nothing.
Well,
Well, then you dropped the ball, then, Sam.
I did.
But I did want to add. I did want to add one thing to Jeremiah. You explained it perfectly, Jeremiah. But the one thing I did want to add was, like, it doesn't mean that our feedback doesn't really matter as much. What's important is that when you do these type of feedbacks, it should be where you go to the person you're selling the service to, ask them for their feedback, right? And then once you have their feedback, you can go back to your team, go back to me, Jeremiah, and Garrett, or whoever else, Lauren, and then be like, well, look, this is the feedback that the business owner has told
Hmm.
me to design forward,
You're
right?
breaking up a little
How do
bit.
we take their suggestion and apply? All right, give me a second. I'll get back inside the house.
A lot of where he's going with that is take the feedback you get from those businesses and bring that to us instead of asking us for the initial feedback.
yeah,
Say
because
how
I straight up
incorporate.
don't know what the value prop is. That you're gonna have to figure that out, right? Like I could tell you, hey, this is designed poorly. Like this needs to get moved. Your margins are bad. You need some gutter. Blah 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 blah. But like, as far as reading the copy and actively be like, oh, what's the right word here? I don't know. You can just experiment. But the key, honestly, from a visual design perspective, just go get a template, plug it into a template, the end, shoot that out, whatever, right? Don't waste time designing it because honestly, people do not care. If they're like people who don't know how their Google My Business works, they don't know the difference between great design and bad design. Doesn't matter. It is not, you're not selling it to them like it's an Apple product that you're unboxing on camera. It's not. You're not like put information on a page, make it
Right.
legible, don't wait, just stop doing spending time on that stuff because that's icing on the cake. You need to figure out what the cake is first, right?
Right.
Because right now you could have a really well designed piece of paper that doesn't convert, and then you have all icing and no cake, right?
Yeah, that's my point. So like, take the feedback from the business owners, and then apply it. That will work way better than asking for our feedback and saying, maybe we should change it this way or do this or whatever. And then you go to a business and they're like, well, I don't really care about it. it doesn't do anything for me. Like the first thing my thoughts were when I saw it was, why would I pick you over anybody else? There's no real data for that. But I was thinking from the business mindset.
Right.
I was thinking if I had my own location, yeah, it's great you added those stats. And I'm sure most business owners will agree with you that Google Places and reviews and all that type of jazz is going to be worthwhile. But it's like you never gave any indication on why we should pick you over somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But that's from a business aspect. So I think it's important that you go to the businesses and you ask them those questions and ask for feedback, develop that relationship. Once you get that feedback, then come back to your team, come back to Gary, come back to Jeremiah and be like, this is the type of feedback I've gotten. Now we can start applying their feedback. What do you suggest? You get feedback from your design team, and then you have a better product to sell going forward, right? I think this is just a process system that you need to figure out going forward with everything that you do.
Right. You should restart your camera, by the way. It's not working.
Also, that meme that I sent you, I was serious about that though. That meme. I'm gonna share this in the co-working chat.
That was great.
Because I mean, it's also funny, but it's very, very important. So I'm gonna share this in the co-working chat. Because this is dead on. The truth is, like, first off, let's I'm going to give you a reference for every single one of these things, right? Let's see, who doesn't have a logo? Amanda's logo doesn't get used, and she made 4 sales yesterday. She didn't have it anywhere on her website. Hire a freelancer to create my website. John didn't have a website at all for the last ever, right? He still makes sales. I need to validate my ideas with my friends. Who's somebody who hasn't done that? Let me think. I'll come back to that one. I need to find a mentor. There are plenty of people who don't have mentors. Need to buy a course. I never bought any courses. Need an LLC.
You're on camera. What you need?
Who else? You're not on camera, Chris. Nobody can see you. I don't have a lawyer or an accountant. I don't have any capital. I don't have a partner. Social media accounts don't do anyone any good unless you already have an established audience. So yeah, no, you don't need anything. You need a person with a problem that you can solve, that's going to give you money. You have a business. The end. Everything else is icing on the cake. That's the cake. You can build that cake up. If you don't have cake, you just have icing, and that is not a meal, right?
Yeah. I like that meme. That was perfectly encapsulated the struggles that I've been going through. Just like, I feel like
now Chris is on camera.
Yeah, and Chris, today I was out and talked to 2 business owners just because I was running errands, and yeah, one of them was like, heck yeah, I want to do the Google My Business services. That I need that. That's exactly what I need. He was like, I don't know anything. You're the expert. I told him about my review status, and like was saying, yeah, I leave a lot of reviews. Like that's what I like to do. I've got 10 million views. I'm level 8. I'm top like 10% of national reviewers. So let's do this. And he was like, yeah, I got my number. He asked for my number and was like, give me your email. I was like, all right, send you that stuff. And then
does he know the price? Does he know what
yeah, I told him the price right there. I was like, it's $500. I'll set it all up.
And you
come in, take pictures.
Pretty much,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he was like, yep, that's what I want.
So like,
send a motherfucking invoice.
Right. Crank those out now, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start going down to different businesses and in person. Like, hey, do you got a Google My Business site? And like, that's all I asked him. I said that, and he was like, yeah, but it's terrible. Like, it doesn't have anything on it. And they have like
pull out your phone and like you showed them like, there you go, boom. And now you pretty much entered. You got your foot in the door.
Yeah.
You could upsell them websites, graphic design, branding, whatever else you need.
Yeah.
But the hardest thing you did right there, you developed that relationship. Now you gotta figure out how to get past the gatekeepers, the people who are like the general managers who are like, well, the owner doesn't come in for like 3 months.
Right.
And then you gotta sweet talk them and figure out your strategies with that. But once you got that down,
that's the harder ones. I've been to businesses like that where I just had to move on because their manager or their business owner is just never around. And they don't respond to their emails like somebody else.
And we'll talk about that later. I have some ideas I can pass to you guys for that.
Okay.
So-
but just numbers game, just crank those out now.
Yeah, I did exactly what you said with Fiverr. I just had someone compile a like 500 member list of
Ooh.
restaurant owners in Raleigh
Yeah,
Triangle.
it was like $10, right, or $15 or something.
$20. It
cheap.
was like $25.
Here's the
I mean,
big
You got ripped
problem.
off, Sam. That's preposterous.
No, you got really.
See,
ripped
Chris,
off.
this is conflicting feedback
$90
here.
for a lifetime of emails. It's $90 for a lifetime.
What's the
of emails.
quality?
So
I go
that
for
is
quality
scraping
over
program
quantity.
yourself.
I got someone in
though.
Bangladesh to do it for me.
No quality.
You know how hard people in
Sam.
Bangladesh work? They're like.
No, you know what the guy in Bangladesh does, Sam, is he has a program where he
Yeah.
plugs in your location and then it gets all the emails. You can get
Yeah.
5,000
So he needed 2
emails
days
for
to fill my
every
order, but really
minute.
he needed 5
For
minutes.
5 minutes,
Click the
5
button.
minutes of
It's okay,
scraping,
guys,
you can
guys,
get
look-
500 emails.
It's a
He just did it
learning
all
curve.
for a second day.
It's a learning curve for Sam, though. He's
Sam, though,
doing
look.
Who
Think
just
about
moved
it this
Jeremiah to a
way.
different channel?
Sam.
We're
Here.
voting him off.
Sit down,
Shut
son.
up, Jeremiah.
We're voting him off.
There, I
look,
posted
Sam,
one on Scraper
Sam.
for you.
What?
$90 lifetime.
You gotta treat this like you're building a pyramid, right? And so for reference, right? I have clients right now where I'm doing philosophy stuff,
Right.
brand stuff, website stuff, all of this shit. But I've done every part of that for multiple people multiple times, right?
Right.
For you, you got to start with these basic offers and just become the best at that.
Right.
And then you're going to do that. And in the process of doing that, you're going to think, man, it would be really sick if I did this other thing.
Right.
Then you go to these people that already trust you. They've already paid you. You've done good work for them and say, hey, wait, I noticed we could do this. This is a great way to improve here. Right.
Mhm.
In the process, you're probably going to learn about like Facebook business pages. You're going to learn about Facebook ads probably. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like Facebook ads, but if you're selling something tangible, it's easier. And just slowly go in the direction of here's your business, Facebook or Google My Business page. Everything that touches that is the next step. Don't jump. I mean, websites, yeah, but like community is 5 miles away.
Right.
You got to go stepping stones, thing to thing, and just add on to your basic service. But that's your basic service,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
That's why, like, for me, for when I'm trying to sell people philosophical consulting and shit, that I don't have any clients that are just paying me for that. And I'm probably never going to sell that outright until I have people that are referred to me specifically for that, because I know that's valuable.
Mhm.
Instead, it's like, hey, oh, you need a website? Cool. Well, why don't you do a brand? Oh, that's great. Well, when we're going to get into your brand, we should do some philosophy shit, right?
Mhm.
Stepping stones. But if I say, hey, you need a website, we should talk about your philosophy, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And frankly, when we're talking about your brand, if they're not ready for that, it still doesn't make any sense. You have to kind of know why it matters. Right.
Right.
And so you have Google My Business. It's like, oh, wow, that's great. We've optimized this. We got you, 500 5-star reviews. Let's take this up a notch. Let's go to your website. Oh, cool. Okay. Made you a better website. It's all fucking clean. It's on Webflow. It's very fast. Well, the next step would be improve your brand. Okay, cool. Then you talk about, oh, well, do you have mailing lists? Do you have pamphlets, whatever? Hook in MailChimp, hook in email campaign, or like pamphlets and flyers and actual handout things. And then you could go into like, it's a restaurant. Let's do their menus. Okay, cool. Update all this stuff.
Right.
All right, we got all this. Now we move on to whatever the next thing is, right?
Mhm.
But you have to look at it like step by step, because otherwise the average person who's like a normal business owner, not like the people in here who are all weirdos and nuts, are going to want normal things, and they're going to need to do them in a step-by-step process, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I say weirdos with love. I'm a weirdo through and through. So, but don't act like I'm not right either. So,
No, I feel you on that.
but so that's really, this is why that worked. You got literally, with very little prep, you got 2 sales right off the bat.
But
right?
yeah, all I did was
You have-
psych myself up before going to get a haircut. And I told
There
the
you
guy,
go.
I was like, hey, anyone who comes in and you talk to them, they got a business, I'll give you $30 if you refer them to me. And we work with them.
There
on
you
the
go.
Google My
I would
Business page.
say that as a percentage instead
I'm
of
sure
$30,
they have.
but sure.
I'm sure they have connections, Sam. Like a lot of business
But-
owners, they talk.
You should wait until you've done a good job with him to ask for that, because
That's true.
you need to like show him, hey, this is kick ass and this helped me out, and then
Right.
you won't have to ask. right?
Right.
And then you can casually mention it when he brings you someone, because he will, right? Oh, hey, my buddy runs a shop down in Durham or whatever. He needs this too.
Yeah.
Cool. Hey, I do 10% for those. So thanks for sending me that. Here's $50, right?
Okay.
Bam. Now he did this thing of his own free will and you rewarded him for it. He's going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
But it's very, very different if you ask people to refer you, unless you're like broke and you really need the money. Cause then it's, you're like, hey, I really need some work. I'm doing it at 50% off, whatever. That's one thing. But generally, I don't ever ask people for referrals. You just do good work, they'll come with time.
Do good work. It'll come with time.
The only
Pretty
reason
much, pretty much all my clients are either people that heard about me from someone else or are returning clients.
So one of the things I did, Sam, when I started off, when I
Mhm.
wanted that extra moolah, right? This was a long time ago. I'm sure it still applies, but I typically, let's say like I was building websites, right?
Mhm.
Or in this case, I would say, hey, I'm building the website, I'm doing the work, it takes a while. But I typically would say, well, if I could get extra money for my photography, all right, for a new camera, I could take better pictures for your food. With better pictures of your food, that would increase your sales, but not in a way like I need more money. In a way like, I'm saving up. So any extra work you could throw my way will go a long way because all that money that's coming is going to the camera, which in effect is going to benefit the person I'm working with. Right? It's kind of like a
Right.
psychology thing. I'm not saying give me more work, give me more money, or whatever the case is. I'm kind of going around it, letting them know that it would be really beneficial for this collaboration for us working together if that they can send me some extra work, right? And they were fine with that. They were like, of course, no problem. Yeah. What do you want? You want a new camera? No problem. I know a few people, yada yada. And get you a camera on
Yeah.
discounts. We get you more work, yada yada. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you phrase it that way, it'd probably be a lot easier closing deals. But don't like don't be needy. Don't. He gave me a little bit more money. I got a little bit more equipment. I got a new light. I'm bringing it down tonight. Let's take some pictures or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can back this up too. I have a client who is a longtime client. Actually, he's my longest time client. He's a wonderful dude. So I had a project with myself and a certain other person who you may know that I will not name here, where we were supposed to make a deck of cards and a book to go along with it. I was going to write the book and he was going to do the designs, and he didn't do them. And I've written like 110 pages of this book. And so basically we had the rest of it. I was like, hey, I fucked up. I shouldn't have trusted this person with it because, I wanted to see if I could work with them as an equal and I can't do it. So I'm going to finish all the rest of this myself. You don't
Yeah.
have to pay me any extra. I'm just going to do it. And so he was like, okay, cool. Well, you should, come out and work on it at my place in California. I was like, okay, cool. But right now I'm working off the shitty desktop that I have until I can afford a laptop. He's like, well, hey, how about instead of the rate of the rest of the project, I just buy you a new laptop? I was like, well, I'm trying to get this badass one. And he's like, cool, don't worry about it. So now I have a laptop with 48 gigs of RAM instead of getting paid for the rest of the project.
Dang. 48 gigs of DDR4?
Dude, it's fucking stupid. It is stupid.
Why do you even need that much RAM, man? A
Because
billion tabs.
No, I mean it's more for like video rendering and stuff because I will do like that Triba video that's like 15 seconds of I think 4K and it rendered in like 13 seconds or something. It's stupid, but I can actually, the cool part was on like on After Effects. I actually on my old computer, my desktop, right, that
Yeah.
you're familiar with, that had like at least 16 gigs. I had to do After Effects at the one quarter resolution, and this one I can read like real time in full resolution. It is nonsensically fast.
Nice.
So anyway, the point of that being,
there you go.
Yeah, if you tie the value of whatever people are giving you to the quality work that you're putting out, it's a very good way to communicate that to your clients. It's like, hey, I would love to do more for you. I need to increase my capabilities, right? I need a better camera. I need a better computer, whatever. This is where the money's going.
Right.
I'm trying to do this because I am passionate about my shit. So I'm trying to make good stuff. That's a wonderful point that Chris raised.
Yeah, that was perfect. That's so true. Hey, guys, I have to go to the bathroom real quick. I noticed that Lauren Chris, and Billy joined. Welcome, guys. Glad you came out tonight.
Yeah, someone will be voted off the island.
Yeah, we have yet to decide. I will be right back, but in the meantime, talk about what the topic tonight is: criticism, giving and taking criticism. And anyone have any comments on that, or have any criticism that they've received recently?
So straight up, the best. Okay, it depends on everyone and their personality. I personally really, really only try to surround myself with people that are gonna just like criticize the shit out of me. The phrase that I tell everybody who's ever been employed by me or worked under me is, "You're always allowed to tell me to go fuck myself." And I actually one of my first employees, I actually had to make him tell me that because he was so uncomfortable with it. But by letting him do that and having him have that experience where it's like, hey, fuck you, Garrett, and it's okay. After that, people will be willing to tell you when things are wrong. But a lot of people, not me, but a lot of people are afraid of offending people or hurting their feelings or saying something that's impolite or whatever. And it's really, really, really important. I think it was even in Good to Great, and I know it's in another business book that I read that I can't remember the name of, but it's super, super critical that whenever you have your team or whoever you're working with, that you have a rule. It's like, hey, if we go into a meeting, anyone's allowed to say whatever they want. Once we walk out of this room, none of this shit exists anymore. So in the meeting, you're allowed to speak your mind. Everybody's an equal. If you're not comfortable with that, that's somebody who's going to withhold information that can hurt you, and you need to like be careful of that, because the people that are afraid of hurting your feelings are the people that will let you get hurt instead of telling you the truth. So being willing to take criticism is you have to lead with that, and you have to be able to say like, hey, you can tell me whatever you want. I'm going to admit when I'm wrong. I'm very comfortable with that. If somebody gives you criticism, you're like, no, you're an asshole, then guess who's not going to give you criticism again, right? So a lot of it is like ego stuff. Like you have to be willing to let people tell you whatever. And honestly, I mean, not all feedback is good feedback, but the worst
That's
feedback
for sure.
that you can get is the feedback that people don't give you, right?
The worst feedback is no feedback.
Seriously.
But
that's how you get fucked up. You don't know what you're doing. Obviously, if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
But other people might. And if they don't tell you about it, you are screwed, right?
Yeah.
So that goes into kind of something that I've been dealing with all my clients, and it's a current thing. I'm sure you guys have experienced it as well. It's the type of client that feels like they are in the right and they know exactly how the product or service or whatever should be done, and they want to give their feedback, and they say, well, no, like I had one client tell me they wanted all their branding to be black and white. Why? Because they were colorblind. And I said, well, feedback, I just, that makes sense coming from you, and I get your approach, but it would be a disservice to me to allow that, and not say anything to tell you that, maybe the majority would prefer color for your branding, not because, I'm hitting on the fact that you're colorblind or anything, more so because, excuse me, I'd rather have you have more sales than not. So like it's always a battle between offending the client who's paying you, right?
Right.
And not and just taking it and saying, you know what? It's your business, it's your loss. That's fine. You don't have to do that many in sales. You can ruin your brand. I'll let it go. I'm getting paid anyways. So it's always a battle, I feel like, with the client. But my strategy has always been like saying that I just can't put myself in that position, that disservice for you to do worse in your business than you are now. Like,
Yeah.
and most times some clients, they're very stubborn. It kind of goes back to Garrett's story where like, employees, like, let's be honest, not everybody's willing to be a dick to their boss. That's just the way the world works. So they're going to be shut down. They're going to be quiet, and they're not going to say what's bothering them, what's the reason, or if there's a mistake or whatever the case is, right? I mean, 1,000 reasons. It's just being aware of it, I think, is more important. and then developing strategies that you can apply it with your clients and with your employees. Like for me, my culture is pretty open. Anybody can say anything. I'm willing to do the grunt work if they're not if they don't know how to do it. I'm open. I'm communicative. But in the same sense, there's always going to be those type of clients that are like, "Hey, no, this is the way I want it, right? This is like I want black and white everything." I'm like, okay, if we could go down that route, but it's gonna be at the cost of something.
I
right?
definitely threw that out there the other day just as a joke for my brand. But immediately I was like, no, I would miss the color too much. Even though I am colorblind, there's just something about color you can't leave out.
Throwback to colorblind, or what is it, colorblind rainbow that you
Oh,
made?
yeah.
That's me a hat because I bought a hat like 4 months ago and still have never got it.
I thought you got refunded.
I did not get refunded.
You didn't get refunded? Oh, I shut that down.
You get my money.
I'll refund you.
So Sam, how colorblind are you? I'm curious.
I'm tritopic red green.
Okay. So like you
So pretty freaking colorblind.
You see me be pretty open with your branding. Like
Yeah.
I've told your branding is shit.
You've given a lot of feedback, yeah.
Yeah.
And
But like you know what I mean? Like and it's not to insult you.
It's
or your
always good,
branding
no.
designs.
I don't
Like,
want.
it's just
Yeah, I want an honest perspective, and I think taking feedback is just as important as giving it, because if you're not taking it correctly and being responsive, what's the point? If you're making them feel bad about giving it, what's the point? Like,
But you have to understand, like the feedback I give you, it only amounts to so much, right? It goes back
Yeah.
to my original story that I'm not the person buying your services,
mhm.
right? So my feedback doesn't really mean much. The only reason I give you my feedback is because of my experience in marketing and doing website design. So it comes from a website design aspect. As long as you understand that, my feedback was from that approach, not from the approach that a client is looking at your services willing to buy. I think it's just a lot more important to ask the people that are looking to buy websites for their feedback first, and then going to your design team, coworkers, colleagues, and asking for the feedback on top of that. You
Right.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Part of it too is if you constantly look for feedback, you're not getting the validation you need, and the only validation you need is that someone buys your shit, right?
Right.
Here's
Exactly.
it's really important to realize that there are so many badly designed websites, products, offers, copy, all kinds of
Look
stuff
at
that
mine.
still sell.
Look at my Raleigh influencer. That's a shit website when I first built it. But it's the same thing I told Sonny, because he came to me and he's like, well, your site, in a nice way is saying it sucks, right?
Right.
Sonny was like, well, you need a new website, better design, look at ours. And I'm like, well, look, if I can get signups and it working without the design, then I know the business is working, right? I
Right.
don't need a fancy design to justify the business.
Yeah.
And a lot of business owners, they think they just need a new design or a new logo or a new color scheme, and all of a sudden business is going to start rolling in. And that's not really the case. That's the opposite. Like you need to have the fundamentals down first, and then the design aspect helps, the conversion rates,
Right.
not the other way around, right?
So there's this book, Winning Plays, and I'm trying to think of the author of it right now. But there's this big part where he's talking about getting feedback, and he would literally shut down certain people. But the reason that he shut down the certain people is because they were people that should never give him feedback on the projects he was working on ever again. So he was purposely implanting in their head saying, you stop giving me feedback, I don't value your feedback, without saying those words. Because once again, you got to be so careful who you're allowing into these circles, because everybody will give you feedback if you ask for it.
Yeah.
Like there's very rare somebody's going to not give you a piece of feedback on something.
Correct.
I could send my writing to anyone, and I'm sure they're going to come back with one more comma on the page somewhere.
Yep.
But that doesn't really matter in the end of the day. So I should be telling these people, hey, I'm not, or just not even asking them for the feedback.
So you pick the best
Probably the-
person.
But if these people keep coming back trying to give more feedback, it's not necessarily a bad thing, and it is in your best interest to shut some of these people down so that they stop giving you more in the future.
That's a good point.
Well,
You gotta
let me-
validate your time.
Gotta clip that.
Let me clarify like the whole feedback thing. it's not our fault for giving you feedback. Like when you come to us and you ask us, like in that email, like we're gonna do it. Like Jeremiah said, we're gonna give you feedback regardless because we're your friend. We want the best of you, so forth and so on.
Right.
The issue at heart is not the fact that we're giving feedback, or it's the fact that you came to us and asked us first versus the person that's actually buying your product. So you need to start asking the people who are buying your product for their feedback and then come to us and be like, this is the feedback I've gotten. What do you think after this feedback? Right.
Right.
And then we can make, suggestions based on that. So
Yeah.
technically it's just a process, right?
The key is honestly just
Doesn't really
just
matter in
go
the end
try
of the day.
shit.
So I should be telling
Don't
these people, hey, I'm
do
not, or just
you
telling
will
the-
always have infinite time after you do stuff to think about it, to analyze it, to get feedback, whatever. But doing things is the only thing that teaches you something useful. Getting feedback teaches you what it's like to get feedback, right? And there's some amount of feedback that's useful, that's great. Do you know how many people I asked about my website?
None.
None, because I do not give a shit. I know what I want. It's going to look like that. It's weird as hell. There's like multiple like dead languages on it. I do not care, right? The only people that are going to like that website are people that are going to like my stuff. If they don't like my website, they shouldn't work with me. I do not want anyone's input. I broke a bunch of rules for the design of it. I do not care, right? Just
It's a good
trust
example.
yourself, trust your shit. If people don't like it, they're not your clients. There are infinite clients. There's nigh infinite clients, right? There are always other businesses. There are always other people. There are people that are more and less like your kinds of people. You're not going to know who those people are until you know who they are. And you're going to find that out by working with people.
All right,
Go
so
pitch.
Sam, I'm really curious. You went to two people, right? And you pitched your Google thing? Is
Yeah,
that right?
3 technically. 3.
Three technically, and two said yes, they're willing to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this: what?
And they
type
haven't
of-
paid, so I'm not saying anything's. No.
Right. But they're interested, right?
Yeah, they want it. Yeah.
Okay, so what type of questions did they ask you? Do you remember?
Ooh, yeah, this is good.
Yeah. What would you actually do?
So that's perfect thing to put into your. I was about to cuss into your little thing, right? Where you're like, oh, I'm glad you asked. Here's my pamphlet. You know what I mean? Like, did they ask you? Did they ask anything else?
Uh, not anything. They asked if I could do a QR code link to leave reviews, and I was like, yeah, easily. I can send people there straight from a QR code, and they can leave a review if you ask them. They asked about dealing with negative reviews, how to deal with negative reviews.
Okay, so they did give you a few questions.
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
Like that's perfect information to put on that pamphlet versus like some of the thing, like half the page that you had on there. You know what I mean? Answering those questions. If I was a business, one of my questions the restaurants typically would ask is, well, can you guarantee a 5-star review? And it is against TOS, but that's something that I'm sure a lot of businesses are
Well,
really intrigued about.
He said that in a roundabout way. One of them said that in a roundabout
course.
way. He was
course.
like, after we're done, we're going to have 5-star reviews.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you can put some information in there, going over
Right.
it. I did build a business a while back, where it was actually review based. Like what the business was it was an installation on WordPress, and it's a plugin, a very simple plugin that they would go to it like a QR code or a URL or a bit.ly link, whatever the case is. They land on the website, and there's two options. You either give us a 5-star or a 4-star or 3-star or lower, right? But the difference is in the plugin that I built was if it was a 4-star or 5-star, it would redirect to Yelp, Google, or whatever website, right? So they write in their thing, and they click 4-star. It would copy all that information, go to Google places for their business,
that's
and
genius.
paste it, right? But if they put a 3-star or lower, what it would do is actually redirect them to a contact us page, right?
That's
and
genius.
saying, well, we're sorry that you didn't feel like, right? So I sold that business a while back, and now it's just being replicated over and over. I'm sure there's free things out there now for like Wix and WordPress and all the other websites, but you can put that information in a pamphlet. You know what I mean? You could say, hey, I could build in your Google thing, I can build a page on your website, right, where it says if you do a 4 or 5 star, it'll redirect you to the Google page or the Yelp page or whatever the case is, right?
Yeah.
And if it's a 3 star or 2 star or 1 star, go to a contact us page going directly to your business so that you can fix it. And my recommendations when I was peddling the services was give them a coupon or a discount or whatever the case was at the time, depending on the business. And that worked out really well because the people who are giving 2 stars were like, well, it wasn't clean, right? And the
Right.
owner would be like,
Right.
oh, I hear you. Here's a coupon. Here's a gift card. We apologize. I went down myself and talked to the manager. We got the whole place cleaned,
Right. That's
right? And now they got a 5 star review, right?
so
And
you
it's
send them
like-
to that
but it's-
page.
Yeah,
You get
and
ahead
now-
of the game. That way you're not just getting people who are disgruntled who are like, oh, let me go on Google and leave a negative review. You've already asked them for their
Exactly.
feedback.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not against TOS. That's
Right.
the most beautiful thing. I'm not asking for 5 star reviews. I'm asking for a review, but I'm filtering out anything under 3 stars, okay, that will go directly to the owner so that they can alleviate the problem. Anything above that goes directly, copies their information, their name. Most of the time, the way what I had it was actually I integrated with Google. So if they were logged into Google, it would just copy and paste into the Google pages, and all they had to do was click it from there on.
I like
That was
that.
a fun business.
I like
But
that.
now the most beautiful thing now is like after I sold that a few years later, like it's free.
Really?
I'm sure Wix has it. I've seen WordPress plugins have it.
So did they
now.
copy what you did? You think you were like ahead of the curve there, or do you think it just became like a common practice that you?
I think it became a common practice because a larger company bought what I had.
Really? You
And
got
yeah, and
acquired.
yeah, I got acquired, and they took what I had and did whatever they did. I think they integrated with one of their services,
Oh, wow.
and then used it that way. Yeah.
Cool.
So they
Yeah, that's
looked in and
genius.
they're like, but it's like it was so simple. Like
It
you know what
is,
I mean? Like
yeah.
they didn't have to do that. But what they really wanted, I found out a few years later, what they really wanted was the contact list. So all my contacts.
So I hate
They
quoting.
acquired you for your data.
Pretty much. That's exactly what they did.
I hate quoting Richard Branson, but he did make this one really good point where if you're doing something online, you want to switch anything that is outbound to inbound as fast as you can in your business process if you're looking to scale. And for example, even right there, what Chris had done is he created something that was most like usually an outbound thing. You had to be proactive, asking
Right.
your good clients, your good customers to go leave a review. Instead, now they're being directed to where to put their reviews automatically, creating a more of an inbound process. And that can be applied to borderline anything when it comes to
That's perfect.
funnel online. You got to
Yeah.
find a way to make it in. And that's can be the differentiator in a lot of online businesses.
Well, so what we did with that system, the review system, is we paired it with a giveaway, right? And we put it right under the giveaway. We didn't say, hey, you need to give us a review or anything. No, but we asked them if we got them to the page where the review was. How? By the giveaway. How do you get the giveaway? How do you enter the giveaway? You go to this page. Well, on this page, there's a review system. So we linked the two together, and now it went from me, knocking on doors asking for reviews, which I wasn't too happy about at that time when I was younger. I wanted to streamline the whole thing, and that was my approach. Well, we'll run reviews, we'll run giveaways, we'll run reviews with those giveaways.
Yeah. That's perfect. Give people an incentive to leave a review and capture the bad reviews before they go straight to your Google profile. Once they're on there, man, oof. So I have a situation where my dad's business, I actually manage his page I have for a while. And the funny thing is there's 3 locations, and his now has the best stars, so it pops up first, which also means the ongoing issue that people would leave negative reviews for the other office on his account is now an even bigger problem. So we need to instigate this because he's getting reviews for the other doctors, and frankly, I'm not going to name any names, but terrible service, and their negative reviews. They bring his down significantly, like 1-star reviews. But every review with him in it, like his name, is just a raving 5-star review. So we could quickly get it up, but once they're on there, it's so hard. You can't get them off. You have to go and try to get that person to change their review. Which, you know, if you have negative reviews, you should still reply to them and ask them, how can I fix this?
So
If the doctor's not working at that office, you can go to Google and contest it.
Right. That's what I had to do. I had to submit like a contesting request. I did it a while ago, but it just keeps happening now because we got his review. Theirs is like 2 point something, and they're all like within a 30-mile radius of each other. So people search for Horizon Family Medicine. His name pops up first now because of me. So I told him, I was like, listen, you just got to get your customers, the good ones, to leave reviews, incentivize them. Like, give them a free reflex check. Like, I'll test your reflexes when you come in for your physical.
So
No, you
the
guys.
whole kind of point I can
Free
think
flu
of
shot.
is there's a place up here in Connecticut called Iliano's, and they have 5 locations, but they have one location that is always historically and probably will be because of the staff members, in which it has the best one of their things. So when it comes to Google and you're looking them up, they literally come up as different names. So the one in Niantic, Connecticut, which is their best, which is like their flagship, the one they want to keep going, that one is named Iliano's Grill. The other ones are named Iliano's Ristorante and Pizzeria. Because what's going to happen is if you're going to look up Iliano's Grill, which is what they incentivize you to do when you go inside of the one in Niantic, you're only going to see that one. But when you're going into the other ones, their staff are trained and say it's Iliano's Ristorante and Pizzeria, which is separating the people before they get online and possibly make that same mistake. So the one in Niantic is still sitting strong at a 4.7, while the other ones are like 3.8 and a 4.1, which isn't god awful. But when you're going to go
Better.
to a restaurant in a new area, you're going to want to choose the place that's as close to 5 stars as possible.
Yeah. Dude, so many people check reviews. I mean, I won't go somewhere if it has less than a 4-star review. I mean,
I look for 3 stars because they're usually cheaper.
Did your thing that you paid for on Fiverr, did that indicate if the restaurant or business had 2 stars, 3 stars, 1 stars?
Oh no, it didn't. I should have told them that. I should have added that in there.
You know what could have done that?
Good
If
idea.
you use your own scraping tool like the one I posted, you could have had that be one of the fields in which it automatically generated for you for a one-time payment of $90 for the rest of your life.
All right. I mean, I'm pretty much sold on that offer right there. You're a great salesperson.
I wish it was my products.
They
I
don't
mean,
have
that's-
an affiliate link?
I
They
didn't
should.
even look. I just was focused on helping Sam.
My friend, you should affiliate link everything. Every business has an affiliate link somewhere. Like
You're right.
90% of the business, especially if
Get
it's
alert.
a digital download product, they'll give you 50%.
Oh,
Yeah, you're
jeez,
right.
really? What?
Yeah.
I could just make my money 50%, bro. I'm gonna sell this service.
Yeah, the affiliates I had under me
Affiliate
were getting
marketers.
50%.
Oh, look, there's John. Man, he's working out. Tell him to get on his iPhone. Hop in here. I can't hear you. You're muted. FYI, but yeah, it's hard to hear you when you're muted.
We gotta
You're-
go, bro. We gotta
Oh,
go to the
oh.
circus, dude.
That's right. We're going to the circus, so we're gonna end a few minutes early. I gotta get ready to go, guys. But this has been great. This stream will happen every week on Fridays at 5. We didn't vote anybody off, but one thing we are voting on is a quiet co-working room from 11 to 4 Eastern time, and it'll be 45-minute work sessions, and then 10 minutes of break. Go get something, get up, and then 5 minutes to get your head back in the right mindset and choose a task. It's gonna take 45 minutes. So that'll be on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and optional, and you don't have to come, but we're just gonna be in there. I'm gonna run
Be
the
quick,
sessions.
John.
I'll be like, hey, we're starting the next section. Work for 45 minutes, then take a break, and yeah, it'll be a good opportunity for us all to be productive, pick things to work on, and get them done. Kind of an accountability program. I think that's one thing that people like and is good for the community. So everybody who's in favor, say aye.
Of what?
I. All right, Chris said I. He's muted though. Of
Big
quiet
what?
co-working, 45-minute sprints. You don't have to be there, but we're gonna implement it.
Yeah, sure. If you want to run it.
That's 2 votes. Yeah, I'm gonna run it. I'm gonna be there
Alright.
I'm gonna be there working. I just gotta be productive when I'm in the co-working chat, in the quiet room. Jeremiah.
I won't be there.
Okay. But it's not that. So you're not gonna use it because you're gonna be gone. But
I straight
Yeah.
up do not like. I only go to co-working when I know I'm not going to work. Like,
Yeah, I think the point is, Sam, is that it's not really a vote. It's something you either do or don't do.
I'm gonna
there
do
is
it.
no try.
I'm gonna do
or
it,
Do not.
yeah.
There is no vote.
There- Okay, so I just got voted out of voting. How does that work?
Yeah. Democracy.
I heard some eyes, so I'm gonna just take it and run with it. Hey, I mean, I'm pretty much doing that anyways. So, I work in 45-minute sprints. Gotta take a break every little
Where's
bit.
Cat Williams? Trying shit and trying shit won't work. Trying shit won't work. Keep trying. You'll find something that kills, especially on a community scale.
Hey, speaking of people who need to go, Billy, you got to go too. Let's.
Oh yeah, all right,
All right.
guys. All right,
3
we'll
of
be
these
back.
People are going to the circus. We have to go now.
Thanks, Gary Scott.
All right, guys, that's it for the stream.
Time blindness. Have a good day, guys.
All right.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, Sam.